Hello and welcome to Saturday Mornings with Trusler and Mac. I am Trusler. How you doing? And with me is Mac. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've kind of been lazy lately, but I cannot complain, so...
Oh, that's never wrong to be lazy.
I,
Well,
I do blame Suicune 3. That's kind of had a hold on me until I stuffed up last night, taking a couple of days off.
it just found a good place to stop for right now, or getting frustrated.
No, it's a good place just to take a break, but just be warned. I love the Suicune series, but the character recruiting system of Suicune 3 is very anal retentive. You can't just recruit them out of the blue. You have to recruit them with a certain character, because you can recruit characters with the different character perspectives. It's like you could recruit this character of Hugo, you can recruit this character of Chris. They all have different branching stories, but then I later found out when I read something that sometimes you have to recruit a certain character for something else to pop up, and I'm like, bullshit. And I recruited a character with one character, and then I had a disclaimer, do not recruit this character for anyone else but this other character. 2 hours flushed down the drain. So...
Yeah, that's a bit obnoxious.
It is. It's very obnoxious. So,
we should kind of preface all of this, or the start of the actual news stuff, by saying sorry. Mea culpa. My apologies. A few weeks ago, my laptop decided it was a good time to die, and so it died. And I had to get a new one, and by the time I got a new one, we had to miss the first kind of week of recording. And then last week, I was a giant putz and was not feeling very well at all, and so we had to scratch it for that one too. So this is why we've not been around for 2 weeks. We are back. All because of me. Well, why we weren't here, and then, yeah. So... apologies.
Direct all complaints to Taylor.
Right. Yeah, direct that towards me. I deserve it.
She basically, just to sum up a fantastic phrase I've used my entire life, shit happens.
right, exactly. So, but we're here. If anybody wants to know, I'm not going to give specifics, but this new laptop that I have is pretty much the same one that I had before. Just a lot more hard drive space, and I got it for fairly cheap. Those are the two things I needed. Those are the two things I got. So, yeah.
That's why he's not playing Fire Emblem If yet.
Right, exactly. That's a good point. That's why I've not been able to get a hold of If yet, because I probably could get it now. Now that I think about it, yeah, I could probably get it now. I'll get it soon enough. I've avoided hearing anything about that, so other than bisexual characters or something. So
yeah.
so.
Yeah, there's something else, but I'm actually not going to talk about it. But
oh boy.
Yeah. I think
you might have mentioned it to me before. Like the sales of it.
I'm probably gonna let you. I'm going to be a dick and let you experience it in the game, and you'll be like, "What the fuck, Nintendo?"
Well, that's not being a dick. That's being that's being respectful of my style of playing games, as unaware as possible.
Oh boy.
So, woo. Yeah, so that's, I guess you want to start us off there, because there was a bunch of different things, well, not a bunch, but a few different things you wanted to cover.
Yeah, this won't be very news-heavy for me, but I've got a few articles. But first up is I like to call it a Dragon Quest Bonanza. Apparently, Square Enix, Yuji Horii, the powers to be, they're prepping up for like a crazy 30th anniversary celebration next year. And they have a total of 5 games in development. And Famitsu has the exclusive rights to announce all these games in the next couple of issues. The recent announcement was a game called Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh, Jesus.
Square Enix is making basically not hiding the fact they want that Minecraft money. They want it big time. Dragon Quest
Only
Build...
7 years too late? No.
Basically, Dragon Quest Builders is an action RPG where, like Minecraft, you create blocks and you can create structures and all this, but you have this cool Akira Toriyama looking character. And of course, you've got the classic Dragon Quest monsters everywhere, like out in the field, this blocky field. You've got like the dragons and the slimes. And what's cool is the characters are not blocky, which is actually a big plus for me, because that's one thing about Minecraft I didn't really like is, have the structures and everything in blocks, but the characters as blocks just didn't look cool to me, And I was...
It's sort of like 3D Dot Heroes.
Well, except the characters look normal. They look like...
So it's sort of like 3D Dot.
Yeah, kind of. It does give off that vibe. But yeah, you do create the blocks. Now, the whole premise, and if you're a fan of one, is the Draco Lord has destroyed Elfgard, and it's up to you to rebuild it one block at a time.
So it's 1 meets Minecraft.
Yep.
Plus 3D Dot Heroes.
Well, I don't know what the combat's going to be, so that's still up in the air. I said to them, look, if you make this into a turn-based battle system, make it a little bit different from Minecraft, that'd be awesome. Like, you'd get in contact with the enemy and initiate a classic Dragon Quest battle. I'm gonna dig that. That'd be awesome.
It should be like Dragon Quest 1. So, like, every step there's a...
That
name, like, grates on you. You just... Especially when you're asleep and you can't do anything, it's just like, yeah, you're fucked, dude. Just give it up.
Yeah.
If there's something about 1 that I don't like, it's that random battles are very, very common.
That's why I'm looking forward to, because I'm probably getting a new phone in the next couple of months, and the first thing I'm going to do is download the iPhone version of Dragon Quest 1 with the Sonic soundtrack. So I want to know how well that goes. I reckon it'll sound a lot better.
Didn't they... I'm trying to think of how they did it for the Super Nintendo enhancement.
It was complete
enhancement.
Oh, dude.
Do what?
Dude, the Super Nintendo version of the battle theme, the number 1's battle theme is... It's also very grating.
Well, that's what I think I'm remembering is that one, because I have the collection of 1, 2, and 3, and I want to say that's the one that I'm remembering the most right now is just that fucking horrible. Oh god. I mean, Dragon Quest 3, like the Super Nintendo version or the Super Famicom version is amazing. It's really damn good, but Sweet Mercy, 1.
One thing I do want to bring up about builders that I found out today, and I think it's really cool, is I'm kind of pissed at myself because I love Dragon Quest so much. I want to know all the bestiary. I know all the slimes. I know all the counter boxes, griffins, and all that. What's the name of the hooded hammer guys? What are they called again?
I know who you're talking about. I don't know off the top of my head.
I know, I should hand in my Dragon Quest fan card.
Woohoo! Nonsense.
Right now.
I've grabbed the Encyclopedia of Monsters. Let's see if I could find this out. I do know who you're talking about. Do you remember which game they showed up in? Was that the...
They show up in a ton of Dragon Quest games. What do you mean, the first one?
Yeah, or the hooded ones with the... is that... That's one of the later ones, isn't it? That's...
They
pop up initially in, like...
Anyway, I think I know everyone's assuming what I'm talking about. One thing I noticed that was really cool is what you use to make the blocks is the hammer they use as well. But I thought it was a nice.
It wasn't like the ogre, or like the Atlas fucking giant wooden stick thing. Just use that.
But yeah. So. Look, I know this is kind of like the big thing with kids is kids like to build stuff. That's why Minecraft is so popular. At the same time, the thing that I don't like about Minecraft is that it rewards assholes. It gives them an arena to be absolute dicks because there is no security when it comes to people just coming in and wrecking your shit in Minecraft. And that I said on my Facebook page, I want this to have an offline mode because I'm worried about dickheads coming into a game like Dragon Quest Builders and just ruining your shit. You know, that's a no bueno for me. Yeah, that's a no bueno for me. So hopefully it's an offline. It'll be an online version. There's no doubt in my mind. There'll definitely be an online version for this game, but I'm hoping there's an offline version so you can just build your own personal little elf guard to the way you want to. I am so gonna make a Puff Parlor in my save. It's gonna be a giant slime building. It
shall be done.
It's gonna be 2 giant slimes, and it's gonna have the enter and exit sign. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Anyway, Dragon Quest Builders, will it be localized? Well, I'm going to get into my opinion of the localization from Square Enix just a little bit. Here's another good piece. Dragon Quest XI has 100% been confirmed by Yuji Horii to be offline. Fantastic.
There's a god.
That is very reassuring because for anyone that's kind of new to the Dragon Quest series, for the longest time, it's kind of been Japan's sort of, it's sort of like the word. It's very hard to describe how fanatical they are about Dragon Quest over there. Like the games sell anywhere between $4 to $6 million, which is, or copies, not dollars, but copies, which is unheard of in that market. And 10 was the first to break that mold. It didn't even make a million. It didn't sell even in copies. But I think they've been getting profits over the monthly fees of the game. And that was online, but at the same time, they didn't get that initial boom that they wanted. So to sort of reassure everyone, I think this is the best step. No information outside the fact that it's offline and it's coming to a console. So
those are your things of news. It's coming to a console sometime. And
I think that's going to be the final of the 5 news coming out. That's going to be definitely the final one.
I kind of would wish that he would get back to doing very loosely based trilogies. Like the first 6 games.
Yeah, well, very loosely based trilogy. I think 1 to 3 did a better job at piecing things together. 4, 5, and 6 is very loosely based. Like 6, I was very close to writing that off as a part of the Zenithian trilogy. Like, except then towards the end, it's just like, yeah, well, I confirm it. It's like, you did confirm it, but there isn't really any fantastical connections. Like, 5 was really cool. I like what they did with 5, But, and...
Yeah, 5 was good with that. 4 and 5 were really good about that. 6 just kind of was like, yeah, fuck it, we're dreams. Whatever, just play the damn.
So, but I get what you're saying. It would be cool if you create a brand new trilogy, 11, 12, and 13.
Or at least, a back, like, dual G?
Back to back?
Yeah, just a back-to-back one would be interesting.
I can dig that. It'd be just nice to see another sort of multi-Dragon Quest, because unlike Final Fantasy, which I completely have just hammer down on the gavel down, I like that to be only single player, sort of single experiences, because they cannot make sequels worth a pinch of shit. So, well, I'm not counting the after years because I haven't finished that yet, and that's probably the best they've had so far. But that's just it. So, but Dragon Quest, I don't.
Cheating though, because that's like years after 4 came out. That wasn't really. Let's just milk that 4 money, Greg.
I guess. I mean, that was pre-smartphone. That was for cell phones. So yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to Dragon Quest, I think the reason why it works is they're not direct sequels. They feel like they can be self-contained, but then you find pieces that kind of connect from the other games. That's why they work so well. Cause,
especially with the first three. I mean, you're just kind of moseying on in one, and you're like, okay, and then you play two, and then you get back to where they were in one, you're like, oh shit, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then threes is even more, oh my god, kind of.
I still find it weird in two when you go to the Draco Lord's lair and he's his distant cousin or his descendant sitting there chilling out and doesn't even attack you, and I'm just like, okay. They're giving up on the family business.
It's like his great grandson or something. Yeah, just kind of moping around. Kind of, oh, my family. What's up?
Giving up on the family business. So, anyway, we're having all this good talk of Dragon Quest, but sadly, I'm going to have to dial it down to being a negative nanny.
No.
Alrighty. So, man.
Uh-oh.
The localization bullshit continues, and I mean, we didn't have an episode last week, so if you didn't know this already, Yuji Horii let it slip that Dragon Quest 7 and 8 for the 3DS will be coming out in French. His translator and supposedly other Square Enix officials did not take kindly to this. So now the whole internet was saying, "You're coming out!" Well, Square Enix decided to be dicks again, and they decided to put uncertainty to the fans, saying, if you want Dragon Quest 7 and 8, you better support Dragon Quest Heroes, and decided to hold the series at ransom. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't like it when developers do this.
What a bunch of cats.
It's like, just fuck it. If it's happening, if it's in production, don't mess with us. Just say it's coming out. You know, don't say that's not coming out when you're actually translating it in the middle. And I actually have a theory, Taylor, and I don't mean to discredit anyone who's in the fan translating business because it is arduous work, but there's a lot of people out there that think that they can do that in a couple of months, and I'm led to believe that that's bullshit. I reckon for games like Dragon Quest 7 and Trails in the Sky SC, I am now adamant believing that those games take years to translate. Because it makes sense. Like, Dragon Quest 7 for the PlayStation 1, right? It took years before they got localized into English, and people, why it took so long? Because people's not interested in Dragon Quest. I believe it's because they were still translating the damn game in that 2 years. And my theory is they have been translating Dragon Quest 7 for the 3DS. I just think it's taken them this long.
Well, what about 8? How long did it take between the Japanese release and...
That actually is a good point. Wasn't like Dragon Quest 8 like early 2000, very late 2014, and then it came out...
2014?
Not 14, 2004, sorry.
Okay.
2004. I added a decade there. Alright. Late 2004, and then it came out for me at least in 2006. So,
okay.
And
well, I don't know. It's definitely different now than it was when that one dude was translating Chrono Trigger and FF6 and all that during the Super Nintendo generation. He was given a timeline, bullshitted a good deal of it. That's why you have people now going back through and retranslating it and showing you how much better it was.
Yeah.
Than that.
Well, see, with the case of Secret, I love Secret of Mana, but there's not really many townsfolk in that game. Like, there's a good deal of towns, but there's not really that many townsfolk to talk to. Whereas Dragon Quest 7, a completely different story.
Well, that and... you've seen the video that I put up on it. Secret of Mana had a very interesting development story to it about, it was going to be a part of the whole PlayStation's adapter or like connector or
CD attachment.
Thank you. The CD attachment, and then things fell through, and so they had to chop off a third of the game. Yeah, and they're like, oh fuck.
That's why that whole thing with Sage Jock is so abrupt. It's like, you go to meet him, and then you go back out, and you do something, and then you go back, and just like
7 fucking times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane because you just go back to them and then you're like, okay, go to the moon train. Okay, oh, there's nothing here. Oh, got it. All right, go back to okay, go here. All right. It's like it's weird that it does that, but if you don't know that, you're just like, man, that's why is it? This is great early on and really exciting, and then all of a sudden it's like you hate fetch quests. Well, stories fetch quests. Fuck you. Do this 5 or 6 times, and then go through and fight yourselves. Okay, now, all right.
But getting back to it, yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Like this, the reason why I'm not like fully frothing at the mouth is because I played the Japanese version of Heroes as a fan of Dynasty Warriors. It's a very fun action RPG to play, and it is a game that you should buy because you want to play it, not because you held a gunpoint and want the series to continue. And I made the point on Facebook that not everyone who's a big fan of Dragon Quest would have a PS4. I said basically in a situation, what if you only had a 3DS and you wanted Dragon Quest 7, but they told you that you need to sell Dragon Quest Heroes well for 7 and 8 to be considered? Will you need to just buy a copy of Heroes just to sit on your shelf just to help out?
Pretty much.
Which I think is bullshit. You should never do that, and I've known a couple of developers to do this in their time. The one that went horribly wrong was the Yakuza series. The creator held everyone accountable for Yakuza Dead Souls, saying that if it doesn't sell well, 5 won't get released. It sold well in Japan, 5 got released over there. Didn't sell well outside Japan, they shut the series down for localization, and 5 only got revived because of Sony Entertainment.
Isn't that the zombie one or something like that?
Yeah, it literally is. I'm a big fan of Yakuza, but I despise Dead Souls. It's a terrible game.
It sounds retarded. It sounds really retarded. I mean,
it's really bad. It shits on the legacy that Yakuza had before it. So I just so much hate for that game for me. And thankfully in this situation, Heroes is a really good game. So at least they're sort of the game they're blackmailing you with, which is one of my friends sort of called it, is good. It's really good, but at the same time, it's still really dickish of Square Enix to resort to this.
If I don't care for those types of games, that is really shitty too. If it was like a game, like say it was, for example, say this was for Dragon Quest 9. Just say it never got released outside of Japan, and they're like, okay, we're gonna release 9. If you buy 9, we'll make the other ones. I could understand that because they're very similar games.
Yeah.
But fucking Hero? Really? What? Something that's not even the same? This is why I don't like a lot of the other offshoots of Dragon Quest. Like, I don't mind the Rocket Slime game. It's just kind of cutesy. Like, oh, you're slime. Yay, do kind of thing. But like, I don't play the Joker ones, or I just don't like. I seriously have swords, and it has collected more dust than a fucking vacuum cleaner. I just have so much apathy towards playing that game. I'm just like, and it's not anything. I've heard good things from you and from other people that it's a wonderful game. I just don't. It's just.
Yeah, it's not for you. I'm such a big fan of Dragon Quest. I do love all these offshoots. It's one of those very few series where I do like the offshoot titles and have fun with them. Like Tornico's Mystery Dungeon. Right. Have fun with them. I love Heroes. I love Slime Mori Mori. And the Joker's games are pretty cool. They're not the greatest. I'm kind of sad that Joker's 2 was the reason why Square dropped the Dragon Quest series for a couple of years. Because it didn't sell that well. But as the games themselves, love the games. Like, there hasn't really been a bad Dragon Quest experience for me. But my point about this is just the shitty business practices that Square Enix is showing. Now, someone on my Facebook kind of disagreed with me, saying, well, you can look at it this way, that this is sort of like a game to gauge new supporters. Like, anyone who's come on board with the Dragon Quest series with a PS4, they can play this for the first time and enjoy it. It's like, maybe. There's a lot of Dragon Quest fan service in that game through characters from the series. If you had no prior engagement with them, I don't know how would you feel about them. You might actually see them for the first time and like them and want to play their games. That, I guess, is the positive spin in all this. So
That's a positive spin, but in the same hand, you're being introduced in a very different way. This is like the Fire Emblem characters being introduced in Smash Brothers. It worked out, sort of. I mean, for a decent effect, but a lot of people don't like the style of game that Fire Emblem used to be.
That is. I agree with that. That's what I'm worried about too. Is they go to play Heroes, love Heroes, but then when they go to play the actual traditional RPGs of Dragon Quest, they might not dig it as much, and that's kind of the issue I have because the longtime fans, such as myself and yourself as well, but this doesn't count you because you are blessed with the knowledge of knowing Japanese and you just play about the drop out. But for me and a lot of other people, we love Dragon Quest, but the main reason we love the series is those mainline games. So, we hope that the best case scenario, it does sell well. 7 is on the way. I will say it probably will take a lot of work to get 7 out there. 8, on the other hand, they will do in the blink of an eye because they can do 80% of that game. I would say even 90% of that game. They've already got the translation. They already have the voice recordings. So that localization of Dragon Quest 8 for 3DS shouldn't be an issue. That's what I'm saying. But well, except for trying to get the voice actors back to do these scenes, unless it's completely the audio's cut off, I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, one last thing I want to say. This is not news. This is a rumor. Because I'm trying to think of the other games they've talked about, because there's 5 news pieces. One of them is Dragon Quest Heroes 2. That counts as one of the 5, I think, of the announcements. I was trying to think what was the first one, because I'm kind of lost on all of the recent Dragon Quest announcements. There's rumors circling, Taylor, that they reckon that Yuji Horii is going to remake 5 again. And I'm like, seriously? It's kind of one of the most remade Dragon Quest, but yes, it's his favorite, so I can understand that.
Because it's his favorite. That's.
And I said to myself, what system will it be for?
The fucking God Genie game system. It doesn't matter. That would be. I'd be up for that. Give me that.
If it was PS4, it's like, all right, you're creating 2 high-end Dragon Quest games at once. Ooh.
True, but but the thing is with 5, he wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have as much of a worry of, what's the directing scenes and everything. You could pretty much, all right, guys, you know the game, here it is, kind of thing.
Could you imagine the most ballsy choice out there, the most risky choice out there? Dragon Quest 5 for the Vita. Holy shit. That'd be crazy. It's like, yeah, we need a killer app. I mean, Falcom's doing God's work over there, but we need to support him. Dragon Quest 5 for the Vita. Everyone be like, take my fucking money now. I guess in that sense, it'd probably be like a more enhanced version of the PS. I think it'd be better looking than the PS2 version of 5. So, that'd be cool if that's true. Because I did like 5. Like, my only caveat with 5... I can't believe I fucking said that. That's another oh, man. And anyways, I think I've already said this to Taylor many times, is I love 5, but I wish there was, like, a really cool, central antagonist, and Taylor's sort of... been the one sort of to slightly disagree with me, saying, well, it's a bit different in the fact that you have animosity towards the organization of the monster sort of species, and there's not really one sticking his head out proclaiming to be responsible for everything. And I'm like, I can see that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you do get, I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but I mean, you do have that fucking nightmarish horse thing.
Yeah.
and his homeboy, and then you've also got their higher up. But then you just have that, just the evil as well as the search for the hero, and I think that's something that's really cool about the game, is that you're doing that and how it unfolds, and the titles. It's all about the titles. The titles that you get for the main character. It's just great.
Yeah, it's one of the best journey ever for a character, and it's even though he's kind of like a silent protagonist, it's one of the best journeys I've ever experienced in an RPG.
I would really chalk it up there with Odysseus's journey, like as a character for what Odysseus goes through. Yeah, he has some very interesting things that he goes through that Five's character does not. But very similar in just the scope of the game and everything. And for people who don't like it because it doesn't have a lot of other characters involved all the time, I can understand that. I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's something that you can damn a game story for, but I can understand that there not being a ton of different characters involved a lot of the times can feel like it's very narrow-minded. But
yeah. So even though it's like a slight sort of irk, but I do like the fact that the monster species in that game is just really just putrid and just awful. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, what they do to the human race in that game is pretty fucking bad. So, you when the end of that game comes forward, it's really awesome. But anyway, yeah, so that's just the rumor, though. I don't know if that's going to be truthful. If it comes out on 3DS, I'd be like, that's the safest bet, but holy shit, will that go down in history as one of the biggest Dragon Quest devices of all time. It's like it's nearing 8 games. Like, then you add Dragon Quest V, it's like... The reason I'm not going to say it's not because they had Dragon Quest V last generation for the DS, so... To double up so soon is kind of weird in my eyes, so... Anyways, that will be the end of the Dragon Quest Bonanza. That was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, that is awesome!
It is.
You said hooded. Are you talking about the moles, now that you mention it?
Yeah, with the giant hammer.
Yeah. I thought you said hooded for a moment.
Yeah, they got hoods on.
That's their fur.
Oh! You talking? When I said hooded, were you thinking about the guys with the axes?
Yeah, I was thinking of them, and I was like, that's not. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah. I don't know. They're just moles. They have wooden hammers, guys. Just use your magic.
And they have the high, and they do the high tension.
Yeah,
which is kind of frightening.
Oh, Kitsuchi. Yeah, that's right. But.
Anyways, because I kind of helmed that for a very long time, I'm going to give the floor to Taylor.
All right, and we're kind of covering some stuff from last week as well, and I think this needed to come up, and that was the whole announcement by Inafune about the Red Ash Kickstarter. The Indelible Legend, is that the little moniker for
it? That's exactly right.
Greg and I briefly talked about this last week. Well, chit-chatted with the clicky-clacks of the keyboard because I just couldn't really talk very well. And how would you describe my reaction to some of the things you were telling me?
Just dumbfounded and slightly annoyed.
Yeah. It had come up earlier in the week, and I had forgotten about it, and then you had brought it up and mentioned some things about it, and annoyed is a good word for it, because why, in the sake of all PR couth, would you fucking release a Kickstarter before your game is actually released? Cough, cough, Mighty Number 9, supposed to come out in September. Why? Why would you do that?
It is really dumb timing, because I put it out there, and Taylor agrees as well, that it's so stupid to put a Kickstarter up just as Shenmue 3 is still in effect.
Yeah, that's true.
You're basically, I don't know what's going through their heads, thinking, if we can advertise this next Shenmue 3, we can get the money. It's like, no, because everyone's pouring their money into Shenmue 3. So you're not going to get any of that. And thankfully, the Kickstarter is going to still go on for a few weeks after Shenmue 3 has. But there's probably going to be a lot of Kickstarter fatigue and starting to set in. I love Kickstarter, but I'm starting to think that my 2017 release, I'm already paid for like 2 to 3 games in
Like,
2017. And
I'm sorry. Go. Continue.
no, you go.
Okay. Well, no, this actually came up a part of forums that I've joined, and somebody brought this up, and a few other people brought it up. I brought it up with the people I work with the game we're working on, is that people are going through this fatigue thing. They're getting really sick and tired of seeing the bigger ones do like as much money. Like they're happy for it to an extent because it's like, sweet, nostalgia games, Ukulele, Bloodstained, Mighty Number 9, Shenmue 3. We're revisiting these games, but in the same hand, these companies don't, or these groups of people aren't really telling that, hey, yeah, we've reached this goal, but we have to have investors give us a whole bunch more money. And you didn't find out, like, they didn't really come to the forefront until Shenmue 3. And people got really pissed about that. They're like, well, Sony's giving money. Why the fuck do we have to give money? And it's like, well, that makes sense. And there's, on this forum, that somebody had brought this up, and they, to me, feel very entitled to having this feeling that Kickstarter, that they're not their sugar daddies and they shouldn't have to give money out. Like if they wanted, I really wish I could understand what the person was thinking, to be honest, because the logic of it really goes back and forth out of reality. Sorry, dude, but they said that I'm tired of backing these things, and I'll just spend my money on games that are actually already made. And like okay, that kind of makes sense. Particularly with these guys, the Ukulele peeps, the Bloodstained peeps, the Mighty Number 9. These are all veterans, ex-Rare members, Igarashi and Inafune, and a bunch of different people that have been a part of the game making field for a while. So when they come up with things for Kickstarter, it's kind of like a pre-order.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there is a chance that it may fail. However, their names, their gravitas of their names, odds are probably going to push it through. And if not, they're going to be very, very, very fucked.
Yeah.
And so, I don't see a problem with Kickstarter. I don't see an issue with Kickstarter if you wish to put your money into it. If there is a problem with there being too many, that's a you problem. That means you do not have the finances to cover all this stuff. Okay, that's be happy that you can even cover any of those things. I would say.
Yeah.
This one individual said that if Mighty Number 9 ends up a pile of shit, they will never back any Kickstarter again. And I understand that not everybody is like that. However, to me, that's fucking insane. You do not you don't judge everybody under the umbrella of Kickstarter, but whether or not a game does well or not. You judge the people that created the game.
Yeah.
And but some people are getting into this, well, because this didn't work or because this failed, then whatever. And it's like that. What? Like the whole Ouya thing. The people got really upset about that. You're not equity investing. You're investing for a thing. And once you get that thing, you're out of it. You're not. There's no other thing. If they didn't sell the company to Facebook to make $1 billion fucking dollars, and they just went under and were in the hole of $500,000 or $5 million or whatever, you wouldn't give shits. You'd be like, fuck yeah, I still got my headphone stuff. But But I mean, people get upset about that, and it's like just judge things on the merit. If you can't afford it, why get upset about it? I mean,
Yeah. Now, to counter a counterpoint to the whole, well, if if Mighty Number 9 sucks and we won't ever trust Kickstarter again. Look at all the games that have come forth through Kickstarter. Look at Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is extremely fun to play. That was Kickstarted. So Shovel Knight's existence will always give people that hope that the product that will come from Kickstarter will be good. So
that would be like saying,
yeah.
I bought a game and I didn't like it. I thought it was bad, so I'm never buying another game again. That's that's the exact same line of logic that somebody's using.
At the same time, though, I think it's kind of weird for Inafune to do this before my number 9.
This is a bad move. I think most of us gonna
yeah. Yeah, so it's like, wouldn't you wait so people know how well he's making his games nowadays? I mean, and before that, and it's kind of very ambitious because he wants to please all those fans that have kind of been disappointed with no Mega Man Legends 3. Now, I'm actually more interested in Red Ash than I am Mighty Number 9 because essentially it is going to be an action RPG. And I kind of like the look of it. I'm not a Mega Man fan by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm going to be looking at Red Ash as an entirely new experience. But from was it that sort of brief sort of sketch trailer I had? I thought it was okay.
I'll be honest, I like Beck and Call look a little goofy to me.
Call. I know Beck looks really goofy.
Yeah, they look a little goofy, but. The little robot guy looks kind of funny. I like him. He looks cute because he's got a little briefcase and his got a little tie for like it's lit in such a way that he looks like he's wearing a tie.
So of course Inafune's as I like to call the community, Robot Masters. I don't know why they're gonna like it because anyone who likes sort of like that anime sort of robot sort of style, Astro Boy comes to mind, all that, they're going to always back Inafune. It's weird for me because Inafune's best product for me was Onimusha, which is completely different. It's kind of, this sort of samurais fighting demons game. So it's like, if he does a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor to that I'd be a little bit more fanatical about.
Was it Onimusha Tactics?
Sorry?
It wasn't Onimusha Tactics that you were really...
I haven't even played it yet.
Oh, okay.
That's the only Onimusha game I have not played yet.
That game's fun, except for there's one battle. There's these like gun turrets or whatever. Jesus Almighty, gun turrets.
The only thing I would recommend to Inafune if he does another spiritual successor is don't use licensed likenesses because Capcom forked out a shit ton of money for. Likenesses of movie stars, and it was awesome. It was awesome, but at the same time, it actually created a legal nightmare for those games to ever see the light of day again in HD form or anything like that. Because Onimusha 3, they need to pay Takahashi Kaneshiro for likeness rights, and he's a big star in Asia. Then they have to pay Jean Reno likeness rights as well. So it's like, Capcom's not going to do that in their current state. No way. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. He's kind of too busy pleasing the Robot Masters right now. I don't know if I'm going to back Red Ash. I honestly, if I had to come down to it, I need more material to convince me. Not just, it's a spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends. Well, I didn't really have that much experience with Legends to begin with, so I'm kind of not in the position to be excited about it. So,
well, that was the thing. This is the thing that always, and I think I've mentioned it to you before. Where were all the Mega Man Legends fans when the fucking games came out? Because I remember people slamming that game. Well, to anybody that I talked to, they just fucking hated it. Like, they hated it, it was clunky, they didn't like how it looked. Mega Man's a boy, this is retarded, and all this kind of other stuff about it. And it's cool to see that it's kind of like the Majora's Mask thing, where Majora's Mask was this goofy thing that nobody really liked. Not at least the people I was around until kind of get later, people matured, quote unquote, or they just taste change sort of thing, and then people started to like Majora's Mask a lot more. But I don't remember a lot of people playing Legends. This is why Legends 2 was a fucking barrel, bargain barrel in a fucking Aldi's, where there's like 1,000 of the games stacked in a sad little corner of shitty games you never want to play. I mean, if you've not seen the cover of Mega Man Legends 2, Christ, that is it's just bad. It's just bad. It was there with the fucking Blaster Master game for the PS1. Like, that's how bad this is. Like, or at least this is how bad it looked presented to you. But god damn it. It's all Capcom's fault. Fuck Capcom.
Man.
But yeah, so I hope it hits it. I know it's close to halfway there with a little over 3 weeks to go. It's not like I don't want to put any money in the Kickstarter. I just don't have money to put in the Kickstarter. So when people complain that, I've got one game that I'm going to donate, but a bunch of others came up, just wait until the games get released once they hit it. It's not that hard to not spend money on things. It's really not. Just saying, people. Just be poor for a while.
Yeah, and what's so funny? When you become a fanatical collector such as I have, you try so hard, and it's so funny you bring that up, because as I was mentioning to Taylor before we recorded, I spent a shitload of money on Amiibos, and some part of me's like, why did you do that? It's like, getting the Ganon I can understand, but everything else I didn't need. And I look forward to the day where I can just say no, and just have a couple of weeks off not buying anything. I would actually be happy. But there's something in the back of your mind that just wants it, and you need to fight that urge. So, yeah.
Just say no, Greg. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are bad. Amiibo's bad. Okay.
I understand that. I mean, it's not like any sort of moral grandstanding of I understand. Yeah, you'd like to have it. Trust me, I'd like to have put money towards Mighty Number 9. I didn't have the money for it. I'd love to have put in money for that whole, like, the Bloodstained thing with the NES version that you were talking about.
I don't know how that's going to go, but yeah, that retro version's happening. But I'm reading stuff that I don't know if they're going to digitize that into 8-bit. They might be just using the assets of what they have already, but instead of creating it into like a Metroidvania-like feel, they're going to just recreate it in the style of a platforming game. So instead of like the pits, like if you fall in the original game, you'll just fall down to the next area, whereas in this sort of remake, you might just fall down. I don't know, this is just rumors, there's no 100%...
I mean, even still, like, just the fact that it's harkening back to that older style, it would have been cool. Yeah. I mean, I totally would love to drop money on the Red Ash thing, because I love Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. I love those games. He's still on the goddamn moon. I mean, get him off the moon! Capcom, Jesus Christ! It's not that hard to ask. Bunch of assholes. But I mean, I have to pick and choose what I can buy and whatnot. And for right now, would like to get Fire Emblem as much as I probably will be kicking myself for doing such a thing. That is my spending, like buying a game in the last damn near year. I mean, I just don't have a ton of money to be doing that sort of thing. So,
oh man.
Whew.
Speaking of Fire Emblem, here's a very quick Lords of the Emblem segment. Da, 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 da. Yes, we're on turbo mode here. Just very quickly, the third scenario is released in Japan called The Invisible Kingdom, and we kind of called it with our theories. In the third scenario, you play sort of a peacekeeping force that has to unite the two kingdoms, and it's like, yeah, that was kind of the simple one we thought might happen, so to fight an unforeseen force.
Yeah, it's kind of lazy. That's like the puppet masters of. I mean, it can kind of be cool, but in the same hand,
I kind of like it because it's not telling you who they are. It's kind of not spoiling it for everyone. So
I hope it's time traveling zombie shadow lords from the past.
I like how you stringed. I like how you string two bad things together. Well, see, time traveling's not a bad thing. It can be like I was playing Sonic CD the other day. The time traveling mechanic in that game is amazing.
I have never played that game.
Oh, it's fantastic because you got each act, and each act has the past and the future and the present aspect. And if you go to the future while you start the game, you'll see how fucked up it gets in the bad future. But if you go back to the past and destroy all the shit that's going to turn into a bad future and go back to the future, you see the good future and see how everything is sunshine and daisies and has awesome music, like incredibly awesome music.
Which version? Because I've heard that there's
the Japanese and the European version has the awesome soundtrack.
It depends on who you ask. I think it's.
Yeah, no, I know exactly that because I've had some people on my ass. Just oh man. Like before the days of YouTube, I was a big Sonic fan, and I'd be one of those vocal idiots, like, oh man, the Japanese soundtrack's the best, and all these fucking people talking about the US soundtrack. So you get people that's like, what the fuck you talking about? The US soundtrack's the best, and I'm just like, it's one of those fun battles that's never ended. So, but
yeah, I never got to play it. Like. Sonic, I don't know, something about Sonic and Knuckles just really turned me off from the series. It's just like, yeah.
Which is funny because Sonic 3 and Knuckles is actually my favorite, and it's funny I mentioned that now because I just bought it again last night on my Xbox 360 because I recently got my dad's Xbox 360 and sort of like a trade for my PS4 because I'm going to get a new PS4 in the next couple of months.
I wonder why.
But my dad really wanted to play The Witcher and Bloodborne, so I traded him my PS4 for a little bit of money and a 360, and I went on the 360 store and it's like, holy shit, you can get Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
my favorite
I
platform.
3, but I don't know, Sonic and Knuckles just feels really obnoxious to me.
I love Sonic 3, and I actually love the zones in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I also love the music, and a lot of people like, MJ did the music great. I said, well, he did a damn good job.
Yeah, he did.
I like how people try to say that's a negative. It's like, I'm sorry, he did better music in 2.
So I don't think he had a part in 2.
No, I said, yeah, he did better than whoever did the music for 2.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. No, I love how there was always that rumor about it, and then it finally actually got confirmed. Because I know, like a college buddy of mine, because he would always talk about it, and I remember him showing me the fucking like YouTube video, like early days of YouTube, where this dude had this like video comparing it and stuff, and he's like, no fucking way, this isn't. MJ didn't touch that. This is totally MJ's. Yeah, he swore up and down about it. And then when it finally like got revealed that it was, I sent him the link, and he's like, see, I told you, dog, I told you. I was like, I got it, Sean. Okay. Don't worry. But it was great. But no, it's fantastic music.
But yeah, if you are a Japanese Fire Emblem fan, yeah, the third and final scenario is there for you to play. And hopefully there's some more people downloading the Noir version, because apparently I wouldn't say it's not doing bad, it's just not doing as good as Birthright.
As long as it doesn't do worse than the fucking dress-up fantasy Atlas one, I'll be okay.
Oh my god.
It's not gonna happen because it's totally gonna blow it out of the water probably, and I'm just gonna cry sad.
Zero fucks for Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I was talking, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about how Dragon Quest was one of these series where I love the side offerings. Persona is the polar opposite. Every side offering of the Persona series is absolute shit. Like, my love for that series is the mainline games and only the mainline games.
It's interesting that they do branch out from, the JRPG to a fighting game.
And it sucked. No, seriously.
I don't know. I don't really play fighting games.
No, I'm actually in the vast minority with Arena. Everyone loves Persona 4 Arena, and I had that whole bullshit about the region lock being one of the only region lock games on the PS3, and I made a big deal out of it. And then in hindsight, I wish I didn't because the game's really bad. Like, I'm a fan of fighting games. I hate the control scheme for Persona 4 Arena. It's not a fun game to play, and the story just not as good as the other actual Persona games.
Kind of meld 3 and 4's characters together or something? You don't have to spoil it. Don't.
Yeah.
But aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, but it's not done in a way that I reckon is of the same quality. Like,
well, it sounds bad. Just like the what's that? Q? Is Q the fucking one where they're together as well?
See, this is the thing that surprised me is I'm not a big fan of Q. I don't hate Q, but I got Persona Q day one last year for, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play the shit out of this. This is going to be amazing. Did the first dungeon, haven't touched it since. I was going to
say, you have not mentioned a damn word to me about that game at all.
No.
It's just...
Yeah, I was just surprised. I just didn't get back to it. I beat Pokemon... I bought Pokemon Ruby... the same week, and I finished that.
Ouch.
So that goes to show you that I would rather play a Pokemon game over Persona Q. And I know a lot of people have been like, "Oh my god, you hate Persona." It's like, no, I don't. I just don't like these side offerings. Like, I'm super excited for 5, which I'll get into in a second, because that's another piece of news. Actually, I'll just do that right now, not to drag it on.
Do it.
This is not, once again, not actual news. This is rumors for the release of the game, and sort of made me a little bit happy because I was kind of worried. See, Persona 5 is that game that I'm kind of worried about because it's such a behemoth, everyone will drop everything to play the game. So my wish is it doesn't get released besides other games that I think deserve more attention. But one in particular, my biggest fear is Persona 5 gets released alongside Trails of Cold Steel. And looks like that's not going to happen.
Oh.
However, it's going to actually contend with another big RPG. The rumors that Persona 5 is going to get released in December, the exact same time Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to.
Oh, and the lukewarm reception that's been getting. That's no bueno.
I'm going to call it now. All the hardcore Nintendo supporters will be definitely getting Xenoblade Chronicles X. Outside of that, the hardcore RPG community that has all the consoles and devices, they're most likely going to play Persona 5.
I've seen the trailers for that. I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm kind of like, okay, all right, they're doing bad stuff.
Phantom Thievery. I actually like the aesthetic of Persona 5. I love the music, and it's just like, this is what I want. Not fucking Persona Q. Not dancing all night. This is what I want. So, I could say I'm sort of like a mainline purist, I could say.
Well, I mean,
but,
like I said earlier, that's just how I am with Dragon Quest. So it doesn't make you less of a fan.
Yeah.
You just like the main games that come out. It's the same thing with fucking Zelda games. I'm not the biggest fan of the Ganon, the ones where the Ganon's the villain.
We're on the opposite.
right.
We're on like the opposite. Like, you should have seen my eyes bulge when I saw the Ganon. It's like, yes, there you are.
Take an exception because I don't count these the Oracle of Ages and Seasons. That's not canon. No, that not bullshit fucking connecting password thing. Stop.
That's actually the one reason why I want to play those games and finish them, because I only played a bit of Oracle. Was it Oracle? I think it might have been Oracle Seasons.
Which one's more action oriented? Or is it more action oriented? Because
I remember it.
Okay.
It's definitely Seasons.
Okay.
Like, I remember putting it in there. So, Yeah, but look, see, but this is a rumor. This is not news. This was a rumor from an offshore website that I have no idea about, so it can be completely bullshit. Um, they're also saying that they're aiming for a worldwide release, which would be pretty insane
Mm-hmm.
for a Shin Megami Tensei game in general. So we shall see how that is. Maybe in the next couple of weeks or months we'll get a confirmation. I'm actually going to say this now. I'm actually kind of glad it's going up against Xenoblade Chronicles because I don't have a problem with that because I think Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to get its sales anyway. But if it went up against Trails of Cold Steel, I would have just lost my shit. I would have just been like, fuck. And I would have been the only person in the community that would have been playing Cold Steel over Persona 5. Because the rumors of Cold Steel is that's going to be November, and I'm just like, well, that's cool. Everyone will be able to play Cold Steel in November 1st, which is pretty awesome. And, you know, it gets released after Tales of Systeria, which is going to be the one game everyone's going to buy in October, and that leaves Cold Steel 3 in November. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully after it gets released, I can play Persona 4. So that's really like I have the golden, and I'm just kind of I started it up like for 10 minutes, and just was like okay, and I never going back. I haven't gone back to it yet. Not that I don't. I can't say I like it or not. I've only played it for like 10, 15 fucking minutes, but I did really enjoy 3, and my really good friend of mine, he loves 3, but then he also really likes 4, and he's like, there's some people that are very, that enjoy 3 more than 4, but there's also a ton of people who enjoyed 4 more than 3, so he's like, he's like, yeah, you gotta play it, just be careful, because you might fuck things up and die. I was like, I'll keep that in mind, thanks. 2 years later, I still haven't fucking played the game more than 10 minutes.
Persona. I probably run through one piece before I give the mic back to Taylor. Is something really cool happened this week. This is actually going to be my contribution once to sort of like the game development scene. I actually rushed to tell Taylor this. I think I only told him, no one else, because I thought he'd be the only one to appreciate this. Is Humble Bundle recently did a deal where if you donate some money, you can get a shit ton of game development tools. And I just double checked it. It worked out to be $2,000 worth. And of course, the money goes to charity. It's kind of like their charitable donation. And I haven't played around with any of the programs yet, but I did see a quick video. There's like a sketching tool, which is one I really wanted to create sort of sprites and all that. There's a program that lights some sprites up. There's a program that sort of helps you make iPhone games, which is pretty awesome. You do get RPG Maker, VX Ace, and then you get 90% off coupons for the other versions, which is pretty badass, and I can give those coupons to any of my friends who wants to make an RPG as well, so that's pretty awesome. And a ton, there's so much. Like, I looked through the list of stuff I got and was like, what? Because I didn't even scratch the surface. There's so much. And the other thing they wanted to do is, when I look down below at what's the funding going to go to, a lot of it's going to go to, some of it's going to go to charity, some of it's going to go to Humble Bundle, so I'd like to put it up. Some of it's actually going to go to a prize pool, and you're thinking, what's this for? Apparently the Indie Game Development Championships is going to be happening soon, and some of the proceeds of this Humble Bundle will jack up the jackpot to anyone who creates like the best indie game, and they will win all that cash. So
yeah, that's to me is a very, I don't like, not negative, like just a very different kind of contest like that. And like the I always say that I'm going to do it and I totally fuck it up, but it's the NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. I always am like, yeah, let's do 50,000 words, and I get like nowhere with it. I always curse myself and I'm just like, yeah, let's do it, and I'm like, nope, gotta stop doing that. But like, it's interesting because it's like, oh, it's under the constraints of time, what can you produce for us, sort of thing. For the indie games, is it just any genre, or are they
I
classified
I
in
haven't
certain
looked at
genres? Or?
I haven't looked at that though.
Okay,
I would I would assume, but
you would hope.
assumptions the
They're
mother
all
of all
fuck ups.
backups. So
Yeah, well, right. And I would hope that it'd be the case. I just like not like I'm gonna do that with game, but no, no, no.
I at the same time I would see this competition as an just a fantastic sort of advertisement opportunity. Just like to see entries like if game doesn't win, it's going to catch the eye of someone say, "Shit, I would want to play that game."
Right.
And who knows? They might get enough to back Kickstarter. They might get investors. Who knows? So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think I'd be able to pump out something, but I'm looking forward to because I want to make I would love to make a game like an RPG or a platforming game. I think those are the major two that I would like to do. So
You should do a platforming RPG.
yeah, well, yeah, a action RPG like a Metroidvania one. That's always been in the cards. So
No, I mean where it's like Paper Mario, but it's a platformer, and you go into
yeah.
battle.
This is completely derailing it, but I recently beat Shantae, the second Shantae game, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Which Shantae is this?
The second one. I keep forgetting the tag name. It's the second game because Shantae's on the Game Boy Color, and then the second Shantae game was on the DSiWare and got ported to every sort of HD consoles.
Oh, okay.
The third game, which recently came out for the Wii U, is kind of like the Pirate's Curse or something like that.
Was that the Kickstarted one, or
no? Half Genie Hero was the Kickstarter
okay.
one, and that's coming out and I think sometime at the end of this year or start of next year. So.
What about the? I know this is derailing it even further. What about that Cosmic Star heroine? What's the word on that?
That I get updates very briefly, but they're nothing earth shattering. It's very much still in development, and just little tidbits here and there. No definitive release date yet for the game, and that was meant to be released last year in December, which is good. Yeah, that's the other thing we didn't touch upon Kickstarter. I mean, those release dates don't really hold that much water in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
It's an estimated date, and a lot of those dates they go way over. Look, there's a game called Cryamore, and it is a top-down Zelda fan's wet dream.
Well, yeah, but they had like a fucking ginormous character. Like the character's like 1/8 of the screen, and then they're like, "Fuck, this is too big. We need to make this smaller."
So I was interested in it. I didn't back that because that was before I used Kickstarter, but I would actually gladly pay money to download a copy of that game. But I think that's even facing close to a year and a half delayed. So
as bad as the one. There's this one that's like in the infancy of Kickstarter, maybe a little bit later than that, but. I remember it was for an RPG, and all they had was a really gorgeous concept image. That was it, and then maybe like some concept sketch things and whatnot. And they were asking for, I want to say, 20 to 40,000, and they got like 80 to 90,000. They didn't have like anything except for just a little snippets here and there and stuff like that. And they were supposed to come out back in 2013, and they're nowhere near.
Yeah,
it's just like holy shit.
One of my favorites that I never got to back that I wanted to is Americana Dawn.
Right.
That has been delayed, but the reason for that delay is they completely used a different engine than they originally intended.
Right.
So it's pretty much a completely different game. Like it went from looking like a late Super Nintendo game to looking like a PlayStation 1 game at this point. So yeah.
And I mean, Greg, you've seen some of the images and stuff that I've sent you in the game I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I, just with one other person, we started the process of it back in August of 2013. And it's been nearly 2 years, and we're finally now starting to get things set for the alpha, for the damn alpha. I mean, part of it's because of not even like programming progression, but just story development. We started from scratch. I talked to him. I stayed at his apartment during a vacation that I had, and I was like, all right, dude, let's get some ideas down. I wrote out a couple different ideas, like 1-page synopses, passed it around to people to say, hey, which one do you like, which one you don't like, why did you like these? Took the majority votes, and I was like, okay, we're going with this one. And then 200 pages of backstory, detail, history, and the main game. Later, they finally started to like get stuff in and whatnot. So, and actually, right now we're talking about we've hammered out quite a lot of details for the battle system. So,
nice.
Woo!
Progression.
Right. So I mean, it's I mean, you've seen it. I don't know what you could really say about it, since there's only a couple things here and there, but it's a game. It's coming along. So.
It certainly is. So I'm going to pass the mic back to you because I've been hogging it like a greedy son of.
I've been interrupting like a son of a bitch.
But I've only got 2 more, so.
Well, we were kind of talking about this before. I really didn't have much else other than the Red Ash thing, because truth be told, people, I didn't. I should have put this in there as well, but I've been really heavy on doing the writing stuff. So this past, like outside of the computer going to hell, I've been like, right. Oh no, this is all terrible. Right. Oh, fuck.
And it's funny because I was the one sort of I was encouraging him to write and to forcing a recording. It's like, no, man, you got to make your game. That's far more important. And like when it comes to the day when I will probably be making my game, I'm probably gonna say the same thing. I was like, dude, I'm in the zone. I don't want to go out.
Truth be told, this is writing, not quite story stuff, right? Because I have a deadline for it, but I have to write out the dialogues for the alpha. Spoiler alert. The alpha that we're making is actually going to be a very short prequel to the actual game.
Oh, nice. You're going that?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if anybody's really done that. It's not like trying to be something different, but I thought it would be nice to have something just be its own little thing so that you can get an idea for the battle system, an idea for just the mood and the general feel of the game. So
it's going to be the ground zeros of this RPG,
right? But the alpha will be free, so
even better. Do you want me to just fire off the?
Fire away.
Well, actually,
or not.
Well, one of them I actually want to go into big deal about because it affects me big time. But all right, the first thing I just want to remind everyone with is we've been mentioning Shenmue 3 just a little bit. They've reached their latest stretch goal at 4.6 million, which is one of the second last expansions of the Baisha Village. So awesome there. Just want to remind everyone you have 7 days left to kickstart. So yeah, just thought I'd bring that there and do my part because I know there's a lot of passionate people in the community that's going out of their way just to remind everyone. Thought I'd do my part here on Saturday mornings with Trusler and Mac. So yeah. Now the last news piece that I want to get into because one of my famous, I didn't do a rant on Facebook. I actually did a rant. Agreeing with one of these YouTubers. He's a really cool guy. His name is Marauder EX. He works at he does videos for Operation Rainfall on the weekend. Really cool guy. The reason why I'm kind of a fan of his videos is we have one thing in common. We're both big fans of Shining Force. And he was one of the people that was very proactive during the whole fiasco that happened years ago with Sega. Recently, Sega's president in Japan come forth saying we fucked up.
What?
saying Yeah, everyone in the Sega community was blown away. He came forward and said, "We have lost the trust of our fans. The Sega name, the Sega brand has no sort of gravitas anymore with the community. The brand quality has just lost a lot of its luster." And basically, he decided that he wants to bring it back.
What?
Yeah.
Like, wants to bring Shining Force back? Or just the name back to former glory?
No, not Shining Force. This wasn't directed at Shining Force, this just directed Sega in general. Right. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because this was sort of sparked it, because I wanted to talk about the guy, because he had some fantastic things to say, because he, like me, he was a Sega kid growing up in the 90s, and then we both sort of experienced sort of their shitty business practices in the 2000s. So I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring out the clarity of what I wrote in that comment section, not so much the video. But in the comment section, I talked about how, they really screwed up their goodwill with a lot of things. Like, the Saturn was like the first system to ever sort of screw the European market over, because there's a lot of Sega Saturn games from America that didn't even come to Europe.
Yeesh.
Like, and Shining Force 3 in the PAL regions was rare as balls. It was extraordinarily rare. When it got to Australia, there was enough copies. So I missed out. And that was kind of, for my family, that was kind of like our exiting point for Sega for 4 years. Like, and you know when that was? That was the complete Dreamcast era, so we missed out on the Dreamcast initially. But we thought that was shitty, that they didn't want to bring out Shining Force 3. And then, on and off during the 2000s, they did some questionable things. And of course, one of the big series that suffered the most was, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I will say, like, Generations was amazing, but everything else they've done recently has just been dreadful. And they've admitted that, they've lost, the quality of Sonic's name as well. But it was just so surprising for the president of Sega just to say, yeah, guys, we fucked up. We understand why we're in the shit, because we've lost a lot of our customers through various things that we've done. We've decided we want to bring the brand back up to normality. We'll see what we can do. There's a potential announcement going to be a TGS for a game.
Huh.
And everyone has lost their minds. It's like, it's going to be Skies of Arcadia 2! Oh, it's going to be this! Oh, it's going to be Streets of Rage 4! It's going to be this! My vote is it's going to be Valkyria Chronicles 4. They said that it's going to be for the PS4, and I'm thinking, okay, what is a PlayStation Sega game that did really well? Valkyria Chronicles.
Right, yeah.
At least the first one.
I can't stand 2 or 3. That shift to the PSP killed that style of game for me. But if it did jump back, that would be really cool. Streets of Rage 4. I don't know.
I know. It's been a good while though, so it's like, well, that'd be a complete revival. I know there's a lot of people that do the.
That game 3 was terrible.
Yeah, we've already talked about this on a previous episode. 3 is terrible, but 2, man, 2 was it, and I liked 1 for the most part. So,
I mean, those are 2 games, 1 and 2, because 3 is bullshit. But I mean. 1 and 2, you can at least just kind of plug in and just fucking play it and not be completely destroyed. You can be like, yeah, sweet, alright, cool.
Have some fun. Doing some grand uppers. or bare knuckles, depending on the version you're playing. So, I know, but it's one of those sects of the Sega fandom that's still fanatical. I don't know if it's going to be Fantasy Star, because Nova didn't do that well, sadly. And Nova's not a bad game from what I've watched. It looks really cool, but just didn't do as well as people thought it would do.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the demo. I played it, and I was like, yeah, no thank you.
He was like, maybe it's a new Shining game. It's like, no, I don't want any more Shining games. Like, the current producer of the Shining series, he does not have the Western market's best interests at hand, just to say the least.
Is he doing that?
I have no idea. He worked with the Wild Arms crew to do that last Shining game on the PS3, but dude fucking hates the Western fan base. He makes no no qualms about that. And in the regard, we hate.
Oh,
we
wasn't
fucking
he
hate
the
him
one
because
that complained that?
yeah, he's the one that supposedly flagged all the videos. And I actually found out from the video I watched, I assumed, and I kind of would like to apologize to anyone come forward saying, oh, Sega's going to do, they said that they fucked up, they're going to contact everyone and they're going to make amends for taking them down. And I assumed that they did that. Guess what, Taylor? They didn't. All this time we're believing they fixed the problem. They apparently just ignored.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was like, oh, fuck. So it's like, well, that's one thing you can do to restore the brand name is just not to dick over Shining Force fans anymore. But I'm one of those people that's considered the series dead and buried, and we'll get it. Well, actually, we'll get into this in our after sort of topic. But that's one series I've laid to rest, so I don't care about the Shining Force series. So if it is a Shining game, I'm going to be really pissed because I'm not a fan of the post-free series. So I'm praying it's not a Shining game.
Yeah, because this game's goofy as hell, like, and not in a good way. They're really Shining Feather. What, the EXA, is that another one? Or what?
Yeah, I actually gave that to my brother for Christmas, and he said, "Oh, it's okay, but it's not as good as the other Shining Force games." So. Yeah, if it's Valkyrie Chronicles 4, it might be Virtual Fighter 6 because I heard rumors that was in production. So that could be the game that they blow everyone away because Virtual Fighter is actually really popular in Japan. So, and because of the whole Shenmue 3 thing, that might also because essentially Shenmue was originally supposed to be a Virtual Fighter RPG. So, we'll see what it is. Like, I really hope. Even though I've said Valkyrie Chronicles 4, I hope it's something no one's anticipating, like, fucking Alex Kidd makes a comeback. That would blow me away. I'd be just like, yes! Yes, it's one of the first games I've ever played as a child. I'm so in. That'd be amazing. Because I joked on Facebook saying, yeah, he's a washed-up video game character. He can't do Jenkins after a really horrible accident.
Alex Kidd, the midlife crisis.
In my midlife crisis world. Oh shit! Oh my god, that's awesome. But yeah, tell us in the comments below if you're a Sega fan. What would you like to come back? Like, and just go off the wall. Just say something that we never said for like Burning Rangers 2 or something like that. Someone no one's expecting, you know. That'd be awesome. But
Comic
you know,
Zone.
Oh god, that was the one I was hoping no one would mention because like Comic Zone is. I don't hate that game, but I will say this. I hate people that think challenge is the only thing that defines the game. Because Comic Zone's challenge is the reason why I don't play the fucking game.
That game's
I can only make I can make it to the second level and that's it.
Hey, that's better than I can. I get stomped on the first level.
So yeah. Beautiful game though, I must admit. But yeah, that is the news for me, and I just want to say very quickly, finally, as being someone who was raised as Sega in my early days of gaming, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I really hope they can turn it around, you know, and sort of have a better future than they have had with just, I don't know, the business practice. So anyway, I hope Sega does turn around. It'd be better than fading out of existence, so... Alrighty, and that's it for the news.
Mm-hmm. So now it's discussion times. And
yes, we haven't done really a topic, and this one we wanted to talk about because of just some of the recent developments here and there, so... But I'll let Taylor take it away.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to talk about the knowing when to quit. And this isn't like, hey, quit games, hey, quit smoking,
Yeah.
More than just that. Well, maybe not more than just that, but something kind of a little more nuanced than that is that, like, when companies should quit dragging out their fucking games. Or they should kind of stretch them out a little bit longer, or you know, a couple more series and stuff. And Greg, you had mentioned a really good one. Would you like to bring that one up?
There's a few really good ones, but the one that everyone I think is accepting, I don't know if this is the one because I'm sort of having a blank right now, but the one I wanted to just throw that out there immediately, and I'm kind of right there, of course, is Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear, I was one of those people when I played Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots back in 2008, and I was still crying manly tears over that bloody final scene. I was just like, Hideo Kojima's a fucking genius, man. Oh, I don't want him to leave. I want him to do more games. Like, that was me being greedy as fuck. I got my wish. I got Peace Walker. And I was like, yeah, now it's like, yes, Solid Snake's duty is over. It's now time to learn the tales of Big Boss, yeah. And played, Peace Walker. That's amazing. And then they're going to have Metal Gear Solid 5. And as I was being hyped up for the Phantom Pain, it occurred to me, it's like, you know what? I really want this to end. This is before the whole shitty fiasco with Konami began. It's like, I said to myself, I would like one last game set in the 80s, and I would like it to be the definitive tale of Big Boss sort of, and unshackling to become quote unquote the villain, even though he has become the greyest of characters in video game history. That you can empathize with him, and he's going to make some really questionable choices in the Phantom Pain. That's the game I wanted. So when you go into Metal Gear 1, you can be totally, oh yeah, we can understand why he did that, and in Metal Gear 2 and all that. So I said one more game because. If they would have ended that with Peace Walker, it would have been cool because his speech at the end of the game for the true ending kind of alluded to it. But I said, one more outing. And now I have this one last outing. I can easily say I want it to be the final Metal Gear game. And if they do that, if this turns out to be a masterpiece, then the series can be kicked off as being a perfect series,
Well, people kind of raise eyebrows about Metal Gear Solid 2, but...
yeah.
But there are people that like 2. That's... they're allowed, I guess.
I love that I love that 40-minute exposition with the president. Everyone fucking hates that. Like, that's the worst part of the game, Greg. It's like, I was fucking glued to the screen. I was like, every bit of information I was eating up as a fan. It's like, this is fucking amazing. It's like, you're crazy, Greg. And it's just like, well, fuck you. I am enjoying this. So, go cry in the corner. I'm enjoying this.
That are just, people could skip...
Do you know there's such an anti-exposition these days? I've talked to a lot of people who are sick of exposition in movies. It's like, they don't want exposition in movies anymore. It's like, really? That's kind of the reason why I like just visual mediums. Is the exposition? I don't know what's wrong.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing to tackle. Is just how vapid and soulless a lot of movies feel nowadays compared to a lot of the other ones. Personally, I think the writing has gone to shit.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
A lot of it, but I don't know. Anywho,
getting back.
Yeah, Metal Gear is something. It's very interesting because we got that really shitty NES game here in North America, and I remember playing it, going, "This is bad. What the fuck is this? How did this make it to the PlayStation 1 to be, awesome?" And then, of course, you learn about all that sort of stuff. You're like, oh, yeah, that makes more sense. But for myself, it starts with Metal Gear Solid 1. Is what I was introduced to, and I fucking played the hell out of that game because that came out. It had that awesome demo that had Final Fantasy VIII on there, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and Metal Gear Solid. I remember playing the demo a whole bunch, and then getting the game, and then playing the game through, and being like, "Yeah, awesome." And then 2 kind of going, "Okay." Like I'm one of those that wasn't as big of a fan of.
Yeah, you just ripped my brain in 5 different pieces, and now I have to piece them back up together.
Right.
That was one of the only games that scared the shit out of me. Like, not jump scare. Like, am I in reality? Like that whole Colonel Campbell thing at the end in Arsenal Gear. That just I had to pinch myself because I didn't think I was playing the game. I thought I was dreaming myself playing the game.
Well, the unfortunate thing about that was that I was playing it at a time when I had an audience watching me play it. And I don't mean like a bunch of people, but more so the fucking peanut gallery that felt that it was appropriate to comment at every little thing. And so it completely killed the environment, the mood of the game. I'm just like, shut up. Like, so other than that, and then you had the demo for Metal Gear Solid 3. I remember getting that and being like, oh my god, this is amazing, and then playing through that. And I too had the manly tears when I got to play through Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, I mean, the nostalgia that he pulled with harkening back to, Metal Gear Solid 1. And,
Shadow Motors.
Yeah, and just how that all kind of came down. Sure, it's fucking melodramatic. Okay, we got it. That's fine. I don't mind melodrama, but I don't like it all the time. So, like, if somebody, like, if I say I like this, I don't like things melodramatic all the goddamn time. And so it's like one of those things you kind of pick and choose. Stuck with it. Sure, Nano Machines explains a whole lot. I mean, it was kind of the fallback card, but it was still an enjoyable experience, and it was nice. It wrapped things up, but I did not quite have the like. I guess it was kind of like it wasn't like I was asking for another game, but I didn't quite feel like it had done the character of Big Boss enough justice by only having 3.
Yeah,
is how I felt about it, because you get this experience with him in 3, and damn, you feel really bad for him at the end of it, but it doesn't. You're kind of left with like a very large gap of like why would happen.
And Portable was okay. Like a lot of people hate that game, but I enjoyed it for the most part, especially for the time I played it on the PSP. So, but it wasn't really like even Kojima himself is trying to kind of like cover the game up a little bit. So
he didn't seem like he was really pleased with it, and that's one that was like stricken from canon, then's kind of been pushed back into canon, wasn't it? Wasn't Portable?
Well, I think a lot of people a lot of Grey Fox fans like myself, we liked his origins in... Slight spoilers! Yeah, he's in Portable Ops.
Right, well, it's kind of wishy-washy, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It is very wishy-washy, because I think he had sort of like this grand sort of scheme in Portable Ops didn't turn out, so he had sort of like rewrite and then put Peace Walker, which is kind of more of a sequel to 3 of sorts. So,
and Peace Walker. I mean that. Just when you are going against the what is it? I can't think of the AI one like that. The AI that has boss that's going to fire the missiles.
Yeah.
Like the nuclear missiles, much later on, kind of thing. That freaking thing is just so awesome with how it's the music of it, and Miller going, "Hurry up, Snake!" Kind of thing. You're like, "Shit, okay, I'm trying." And counting down.
No, was that? Are you talking about the Peace Walker battle?
Yes, Peace Walker battle.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's really intense the very first time you get it, because you got Miller yelling at you to hurry up and shit. And you're just like, fuck, I'm dying, dude. You
man,
the fucking
Peace Walker was an epic fight. Just be like pulling out everything else, like fucking rocket launchers, go, dodge.
Trying to like get more ammunition and shit, and this thing's going, countdown in 30 seconds. You're like, fuck. I mean, that the very first time I was just like, this is intense. I love it. I love that, just that tension that you don't really get it a lot of the times in the series. That sort of tension. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can pick out one? That...
Oh, there's a ton. Like I thought the battle with Ray, like that was pretty intense because you'd have to be dodging all the fucking time, and just like, and because it's a huge battle of attrition because you think, oh, I've killed 3 of them, that's got to be it. There's more.
Well, you gotta destroy like 30 of them, don't you?
I think it's about 15.
15, okay.
So.
Well, I think to me that was a little too much. Because I'm like, really? 15 of them? Or, you know, whatever, like a bunch of them? 10, 15 of them? What? Really? And it's like, I would have done fine with just having the one, like, Rex that was just like, oh shit, this thing's kind of tough, you know. I mean, or I would say the fist fight with Liquid.
Yeah.
That one's a pretty tense one because I remember getting my ass whooped a whole lot on that one.
Well, there's difference between tense because of the atmosphere or tense because of the difficulty. Because you can say Sniper Wolf's battle was very tense because you don't know where, but I would say the end's a lot more tenser. Holy shit!
Well, both of those you can really actually cheese. The Sniper Wolf one you can cheese by having the Nikita.
Yeah, Yes, that's how I defeat it, as the Nikita missile. So Sniper Wolf's one is quite easy.
Right.
The end, okay, I don't do the whole week trick where I save the game, turn it off, come back a week later, and he's died of old age. I don't do that shit. I try to fight him normally, and if you say you can cheat that, I'll call bullshit, because there's no way you can cheat that fight. It's fucking ridiculous.
That one is a pretty good one. The other way that you can do it, where you kill him where he's on the pier...
Yeah, that's the other way.
That one is actually like that one's like as close to being like, here's your sniper mission, do this, as opposed to the battle that the end is in the was it 4 different areas? Is it?
Yeah.
That one's just like, all right, there's your little perch. Shoot him quick, because you're about to run out of time. I remember the very first time I did that, I had a sniper rifle for it, and he comes out there, and then he starts to go back, and I just, like, unloaded, like, 5 shots. I'm like, fucking kill him! You know, kind of. I was able to get him and stuff. I was like, yeah! Yeah! Just being really excited about it for no damn reason. Other than just, yeah. It's totally dastardly. Totally dastardly, but...
Get it back on track, or we can change this name to the Metal Gear Solid Appreciation Society.
But yes, things that should either quit or find a happy medium, and maybe a couple more here, that...
Yeah. Or ones that would be welcomed a revival, or a resurrection, or a complete overhaul.
Right.
We can just include that, because, you know, there's some series where you want to end, if someone wants to bring it back differently, that can also be a good thing, can also be a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah. But,
did you want to mention another one there, or?
I'm going to let you mention one, because there's one that I'm very happy with, but you probably have the bigger expertise on this series, and I want to know your opinion of it.
Am I supposed to be mentioning it, or because I was going to say that...
No, you've talked about how you love you're probably the one person in the community that loves the series more than anyone else, but you're getting to that point that you want them to finish it soon.
That would be Trails.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know that's so greedy for me to say, because I've been able to play a whole lot of Kiseki games. I've played the first 3. I've played Nayuta, I've played Owl and Zeto and Owl. I've played Sen 1 and 2, and I've enjoyed them. But I'm kind of hitting that point where, especially in those last with Sen 1 and 2, it felt like it dragged, and it saddens me that those are the ones that are going to be coming out, because I'm afraid that the series is going to get a bit of a raw deal. Because you're going to miss out on the 3rd. You're going to miss out on Nayuta, which isn't really... you're going to miss out on Zeto and Owl until who the hell knows when. And
which would piss me off.
Right, and it's just like... I mean... It's one of those things with a story that... You know, there's the same thing with TV shows. You get to a point... Scrubs definitely hit that. But you get to a point where you should wrap it up, but instead you keep going because it's profitable. And
Yeah.
it feels like they've kind of hit that point with Sen 1 and 2. And I know that's bad for me to be saying towards Falcom. And I know that they're not just like, yeah, I think they think that, oh, great, money, this is helping the company. That's good.
Yeah.
And that they're trying, but in the same hand, I think because of trying to be financially successful is getting in the way of some artistic creativity when it comes to the story.
Because Kondo does write some very grand tales. I mean, I'm not going to quote East because he kind of fell into East because the world was already created for him. He just greatly expanded on it, whereas Kiseki was kind of his brainchild and everyone else who helped write at Falcom. So, of course, that he'll have the best interest and he'll try to expand it as much as he can. But there's got to be that point in time where a lot of things got to get resolved. Ouroboros can't just keep causing shit. There's got to be this point where they're gonna have the face off and gonna sort of finally dissolve this organization.
That's the problem. You know? They have some face offs, and you take care of certain problems, and those problems get replaced.
Yeah,
and you're just like, fuck! That doesn't... we're nowhere. We're back at square one.
Yeah, and I do not want to... Now, this is where I wanted to comment and sort of bring another company into this, is the thing about this is we love Kiseki, but we wanted to end on a high note, and we wanted to end it perfectly so it doesn't drag on anymore, because there's going to become this point where if people get sick of it, it might lead this sort of like this cliffhanger that never gets resolved.
Exactly.
This is when I'm going to cue Camelot Software Planning because they're notorious for fucking doing this. And the brothers at Camelot, fantastic storytellers. Everyone who's played Shining Force 3 knows that kind of leaves on a cliffhanger of sorts. And the main battle gets resolved. There's two insidious people where it's like, oh shit, they're going to do something else. Oh my god, here comes Shining Force 4. Never happened. And then they went on to work with Nintendo. Now they have Golden Sun, and they did Golden Sun 1. You looked at the ending of that, it's going to immediately get followed up with The Lost Age, and it's like, oh, this is going to finish this saga. Something happens that lets you believe that there could be a third game. And guess how long it took, Taylor, for that third game to come out?
I think it was about 7 years.
8 years. 8 years, and you're thinking, cool, this is going to be the finale, it's going to be awesome. You got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, you're shitting me. Yep, left it open for another game, and I'm like, you are killing me, Camelot. Like, if there's one thing I want for Camelot is to go out with a full series, fully finished. If they're going to do one more Golden Sun game, which I think they are, they're going to do it for the 3DS, just make it the last game. Don't do what happened to Shining Force 3, because it killed me, man. It killed me thinking there could have been another fantastic Shining Force game, but because of what happened, that's never going to happen. And I don't want that to happen with Golden Sun, where maybe Nintendo's deal with Camelot runs out, and Golden Sun gets left in the air, and they're just a company with nothing but just series that never finishes.
Right, and that's a problem with games that we have in general, is that a majority of the time the endings are fairly piss poor.
Which is why I loved Forza. That's as much as I'm looking forward to the Phantom Pain. Forza was fantastic, and I'm like,
right.
Seriously, you got to do something that, of course, that alludes to the events of Metal Gear 1 and 2, but kind of finalizes your sort of connection of sorts that you've had since Snake Eater to Big Boss. So, sort of to wrap it up of sorts. So, that's up in the air. It's, I would say, 7 weeks away to the release of the game, so...
Soon.
Soon.
But yeah, and that's it's something that, like, if they can pull that off and it's just a wonderful game and everything, that would be fantastic, because as you mentioned with Camelot, yeah, you got that Lufia looking at ya, you have this interesting bit with the Sinistrals and Zalbec. Fuck's that, kind of thing. Or no, not Zalbec. What is his name? Eric, the one above the Sinistrals. He's just kind of chilling, waiting to fuck some people up, and we got a re-envisioning of 2 that completely shot the bed. And before that, you had Realms of Lore, which was just
Yeah. Oh man, fuck.
So I mean, that would be one that I would love to see them, even though Natsume's no longer around, aren't they? They're gone now.
Well, yeah, Neverland isn't.
Neverland.
I think Natsume is, but Neverland.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And they did kind of close it up. I think, what was it, 2 years ago? Last year? Sometimes not too horrible.
I think it was really late last year. So.
And so we've got nothing. We've got a wonderful couple games, and then just the cycle never ending ended. So
the thing I wanted to bring up about series that actually have ended, and I don't want any more games for the series. There's a few of them.
Okay.
The first one, I'm one of the biggest Phantasy Star fans on the planet, and it feels like, oh, why isn't there like a Phantasy Star 5 set in the August Star universe? It's like, I looked back, and I said, I don't want that to be. This ending is actually really good. It's very heartfelt, and the biggest threat in that universe thereof, if they did another game, it would be very tacky. It would like, oh, but there's something else grander than a profound darkness. It's like,
it's the stifling darkness.
So I think I even said that when I was on All Jane Games with Johnny. He's like, no, there will never be another game, and I'm just like, I kind of agree with that now, because I think I've replayed 4 since then. It's like, yeah, it's a great. I'm not going to talk about 3, but 1, 2, and 4 is a fantastic little series onto itself.
I was going to say, that's because 3 takes place after 4. Ha 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 ha!
Yeah.
Darkness.
No, it didn't. It's Phantasy Star 3 is the prequel to PSO. That's what I'm going to call it as. So, but in the cell, it's like, no, I don't want a Phantasy Star 5 because it ties it up. What's another one? And here's the big one for me. People are going to be shocked when I say this. Suikoden. Like, I'm playing 3 right now. I've already read the manga of Suikoden 3, and I know how the game ends. And I said to myself, they couldn't possibly create a situation that's more intense and more world-threatening than what happens at the end of 3. And it's kind of really fucking sad what happens at the end of 3. And I said to myself, it's sad, but you don't want anything else to continue. And you're just like, it's a happy ending for a lot of characters, but it's also very sad for a couple of other characters. And I said, that kind of seems like a very quintessential sort of ending to that series. So I don't want a Suikoden 6, honestly. A lot of people, that's the one thing that they've desired. It's like, if they're going to do a Suikoden 6, you have to do it in a completely different world. Which, essentially what Tear Crease was in Centennial Tapestry. But, yeah. I know a lot of people didn't expect me to say that, but yeah. Well, when I look at it now, it kind of ended on a big note with 3, with the original series. So
it went too long, kind of thing.
Yeah. We'll see. It seems that originally it was meant to be a trilogy. You got 1, 2, and 3, and that ended it. And then Konami's like, well, we can't tell any more stories, so we'll do prequels. And then 4 and 5 are actually prequels. So
okay. I didn't know that. I've only played 1 and 2, so this kind of this falls sort of in the same line there, but Sacred of Mana.
Yeah, Secret of Mana is interesting because the connections are very loose in that game to the point that I keep completely forget about them.
They're so out there, you don't it's really hard to keep track of that sort of thing. But
yeah,
Mana Tree goes away. What else is there to say?
Yeah, it's gonna be revived again, Taylor. It's gonna get revived again.
Right. Well, just
I,
that's what happens. You end up just doing a whole bunch of damn prequels, and it's like, why are you going into all this detail? Children of Mana, if I recall right, Children of Mana was kind of all this. Let's go super back in time, kind of thing about it, and it's like that's don't unless it was intended, or if it's just really hard to do that because it just doesn't feel like it's necessary.
Well, it's weird because I think video games do it better than movies because it's apparent. I'm a big Middle-earth fan, love Lord of the Rings. Mm. I actually went away from the third Hobbit movie not feeling the same magic, saying this is kind of pieced together very poorly, and it's just like it's a thing now with movies. I don't know why the fuck film studios greenlight prequels because everyone walks away with them not feeling the same magic that they did the original trilogy. Mm. So with Hollywood, with the movie industry, it's kind of a stupid thing to do. But for video games, like
some good prequels.
I love Birth by Sleep. That's the definitive, like, fantastic prequel.
Liar, Lufia
that in
2.
Some
wrong answer.
Lufia 2 as well.
Sorry. Sorry. That was the only one I could think of. But okay, Birth by Sleep.
And Snake Eater, of course.
Snake Eater, yeah, right. But there's not a ton of them, really.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, fighting game fans, Street Fighter Alpha is a prequel, and I enjoy that.
Okay.
So that's debatable though for a lot of Street Fighter fans. I mean, they don't hate Alpha, but they're not really digging the storyline and Alpha has. So, and that is questionable. Did Tactics Ogre ever have prequels? I don't know. That's a series I'm so sort of distant to me, so I can't make that call.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
You can call Shining Force Final Conflict isn't really so much a prequel. It is a prequel to Shining Force 2 that came out after Shining Force 2, but it feels like a sequel to Shining Force 1. It's a bridge game. It's a game that bridges. Nothing really comes off the top of my head, really, other than those games. It's funny, I don't think Final Fantasy ever did a prequel game, in my opinion. They've all been sequels. Scratch that, Crisis Core.
Yeah,
but
I hate
you're gonna debate that where it's like I like Crisis Core.
It's terrible. I don't care. La 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 la. Sorry.
Sorry. I think that's funny. Yeah. But and I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. It was like groundbreaking as much as like Birth by Sleep was. Even though I reckon there's one part of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep that just makes Nomura very batshit crazy with his writing. It's like, Nomura, that makes no sense. Like, how can this character have a likeness of another character that doesn't even fucking exist? And there is no way that he can do anything to make sense of it. So, but the rest of the game is amazing. So, I'm not even gonna mention Legend of Zelda because I am adamant about believing that is a series where every game stands on its own. The timeline was only there to please the hardcore fans that kept bitching about it, and I feel so forced. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
That one, and yeah, the Oracle of Ages and Seasons, those are kind of coupled together, but...
And you can say there's Adventures of Link as well, yeah. But then it just gets really messy, and it's just like, I don't know why they keep up with this facade, saying, just say to people, it's James fucking Bond.
No one Greg, it sold them a lot of fucking books. Ingenious idea. They're just like, let's just make a timeline. They're bitching about it. Okay, let's make a timeline. Fuck it. And then we'll just... okay, there's 3 of them, you assholes. You didn't even think about the one where he loses.
So... shit.
But yeah, prequels... I don't know. Prequels are something that are really hard to do well and leave you satisfied because you know something later is coming.
Yes, exactly.
So, I don't know why they did Lord of the Rings and then just didn't do The Hobbit until years afterwards. That didn't really make sense to me, but I also don't know why the fuck other than money, they made 3 damn Hobbit movies. That's
Yeah, no, I can say that they can easily cut one of those movies and incorporated it. So, but in terms of games, I'm trying to think of like one other series. I mean, Street Fighter V's coming out, but it's like that story. I don't know if that's ever going to end, because there is going to be an end to that game where Ryu fights Akuma and settles that forever. But that fight's still going on,
and it would be kind of wrapped up by now.
There's rumors that Tekken 7's gonna wrap the Mishima family. I was like, are you cool? Fucking yes, Namco. Have the balls to end that series.
Or at least, end that family. I mean, Christ. Devil, Angel, well, maybe not Angel, I don't know.
I've fallen off.
There's so many of them.
Tekken.
Haichi, whatever the fuck. Oh my god. Christ. I mean, like, I loved the early Tekken games. I loved playing those. But just the it went from June to Asuka's niece or something like that, or daughter or whatever.
Yeah. And then you find like
Squid.
Then the corpse of the original Mishima family back in the Dark Ages is resurrected, and that's the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
Never mind. Out.
No, but see, and we alluded to before when I talked about revivals, how like a series can end and then get revived. There's actually a fighting game series recently that was revived, and it's actually, in my opinion, it's actually got more depth than the original series. The original series had depth to begin with. Mortal Kombat. Like, I've been a big Mortal Kombat fan for the longest time, but when Deadly Alliance came out, I was like, I'm done. This is shit. Like, the story, it's like, the greatest being other than Shao Kahn is the Dragon King Onaga, and Onaga was fucking laughable. Like, I did not feel that he was as intimidating as Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's one of the most intimidating, most fun villains in video game history. Some of the stuff he says is funny, but it's also unnerving at the same time. You do feel like if this guy existed, you'd shit your pants. So it's like, okay, this is bullshit. But when they rebooted it, it gave a lot more depth, and it was the game to feel like an interactive movie of sorts, and it was fantastic. And they rebooted it, and they created a new future of that game with Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat X is fantastic. It's a revisioning of Mortal Kombat 4, and people hate Mortal Kombat 4, but then Mortal Kombat X comes out and just completely takes the source material 4 and tells a much better story. So that's a situation where a game that kind of ended on a very poor note came back better than ever. So
I'll be honest, my Mortal Kombat lore is at like 0. I don't know shit about that series. Other than the song.
Mortal Kombat!
Bicycle kicks. I sort of know that from the from the forearm dude. Who's the forearmed guy?
Which one? there's Goro and Kintaro.
I think it's Goro.
And Shiva is the female Shokan warrior. Yes, I'm that kind of geekish about Mortal Kombat universe. I kind of know that. But like I just fell off, and then it was so awesome for them to come back and just create it better than ever. And it was the original creator, one of the original creators as well. So that's awesome. But not everyone can do that.
Right.
Look at Sonic.
Oh,
like the original creator, Yuji Naka, he knew when to leave. Because they knew that Sega was just going to drive that... I was going to say drive a dead horse, but I'm going to say drive the dead hedgehog as far as it can. I love Sonic, but fuck me, I dropped off after Sonic Adventure 2. Because, God... And I would say it came back for generations, because that's more of a celebration of things that happened, more than a new experience. But, man... That's a different story, because he's kind of a brand name, he's an icon. People always try to make a Sonic game, and there isn't really any narrative to that series anyway. So how can they end something that has no narrative?
Make really shitty RPGs of it, and
I haven't even played the Dark Brotherhood yet.
I haven't played it, but I've not heard very flattering
Look,
things about it.
look at Mario. Mario doesn't really have a narrative. Bowser always captures Peach, rinse and repeat.
Pretty much.
You-
Add in Space Chick from time to time.
Yeah.
Add in some cat suits here and there. Yeah, no, they pretty much they keep it. What's that? Keep it simple, stupid. That's what they do. They keep it simple.
Kiss. Yeah. Like one of the only few series that Nintendo has is Fire Emblem. They like to finish all their sagas, and that's why we kind of bitch at Awakening, because it's like, yeah, the Arcania saga ended really awesome. So why are they creating this game so like in the vast future of the Arcania saga?
Where the fuck is their technology? What widespread terror, retarded development for 1,000 years, so you assholes are still using swords and sticking each other with the pointy end.
Yeah, definitely one way to look at it. So I'm looking like, okay, if you want me to come forth and be honest about the one series that I'm greedy at, really fucking greedy at, don't want it to end, the Certain Adventures of a Redhead Adventurer. I'm still greedy about that series, good sir. There's so many tales that can be told, and I still think he's got a ton more to go through, which is why I'm going to use this opportunity to say, damn it, Falcom! Where's 8? I want my 8.
I will agree with you. I think this is a series that has every right to continue and not feel like it's being too, what's the word? Like they're just trying to get some money. If they would actually expand beyond the first, 8 years of his travels.
Well, this is the thing, though. As sad as we have to admit this, East doesn't really sell that big. It sells okay,
right?
But it's not like we're gonna make money off East. No, they never. I don't think it's one of those series that's in their intention, because they know it doesn't really make that much money. They want to make it because there is this excitement towards creating an East game, and the reason why they're kind of a little bit more reassured to do it is because they know there's a lot of crazy fans outside of Japan, like me, that will want it. So I don't think I'm kind of happy with the series is now, and they're continuing it on. There's no end in sight. I'm very happy with that. The end in sight's going to happen where he's going to be sitting on his rocking chair writing his awesome journals.
Right. That's the end. You already know the end is that he's written these things. That's exactly what I was getting to. Is that they put it in such a way that you know the end. He's writing these out for you, and who knows exactly what kind of point that you could cut off and say, this is the last adventure he has, and then he just writes his memoirs. For example, if you were to cut it all off and say that the PC Engine version of 4 was the end of the series, would you have been content with that?
The way they ended it, I kind of liked it, and it's just like, that's presumably that's Lilia reading the McChild story, sort of like a journey, like the tale of Adol, and then that supposedly could be Adol's kid, and it's like, that's kind of heartwarming. Oh, that might not be his kid, that might be his descendant.
I was going to say, I didn't quite get that feeling out of it. Maybe I just missed that, but I just thought it was...
Yeah, just the red-haired kid is like, is that Adol's kid? Or maybe it might be like his great-great-grandson, and they're reading a story of of his ancestor. Who knows? But I would have been cool. The ending was good, the final battle wasn't. Like, the final battle is a joke against Aram.
Right.
That would have pissed me off to think that's Adol's greatest adversary. No, fuck that. But even though I would have known in the timeline, it's like, no, his last adversary would have been Galbalan. And it's like, well, at least Galbalan was a little bit more epic than Aram, so... Yeah.
Well, he is the strongest foe. Ooh,
yeah.
That's right.
Indeedy. I don't listen to that song weekly. No, not at all. I could go on, but I think we've raised some good points. We've raised series that should end, series that should end soon, series that have every right to continue on, and I've even talked about series that have resurrected after they've supposedly ended and told a better story. So tell us in the comments section, is there a series you love that's like, I would love it. I would love it if they wrapped it up.
Yeah, that's a good one. Especially is like if one that you love but you want to see them.
Oh, one more. I'm going to throw it out there. Kingdom Hearts 3 and that fucking series. Yeah, a lot of people saying it's just going to end Xehanort Saga. It's like, well, maybe that'll be my point of
exit.
Sort of going out of exit, maybe. So it'd be good that they can finally finish that saga. So I'll throw that out there as my last one.
Yeah, I mean that's because like I'd love, for example, I would love more games along those lines for the trilogy of Soul Blader and Terra Enigma, well, Illusion of Gaia and Terra Enigma, but like something like that, even though it's not like a definitive trilogy of sorts, it's still kind of a very loose sort of concept being told.
And Terra Enigma's ending, holy shit!
Oh yeah, seriously, yeah. Like that's in an ice box, there forever. Kind of thing. You don't need to expand on it. And I mean, and this is something you got to be careful what you wish for. Look at what Lufia, look what they tried to do with Lufia. They tried to bring it back, and instead of venturing forward, they tried to reimagine a classic, and they just ruined themselves. Honestly, I mean,
botched it up.
Yeah, they not only botched the game, but they just really ruined it for themselves. Unfortunately, so Castlevania, fucking stop.
Yeah. Well, that's you brought up a fantastic point there. It's a series that I don't know when it was going to end if they would have given more stock to Igarashi. Like, I love that universe he created, how it all connects. And Order of Ecclesia is such an odd title because it doesn't really connect. It's just some time after Symphony of the Night, but it doesn't really connect to anything else in that series. But there's one game they could have created that would have just sealed the deal.
Well, of course.
And it would have had the same effect that the Phantom Pain's going to have, but that never happened. So they kind of led that series up in the air, but it has some awesome. If you wanted to say, well, it ends with Dawn of Sorrow, it's like, well, yeah, that's cool. I can accept that. Like, it's not bad, but it's not like, oh my god, it ended on a big note. It's just, it ended pretty cool.
It's not Battle of 1999 cool. That's...
No, it's not. That would have been the definitive defeat of Dracula. It's like, that's how you end a series like Castlevania.
Right. I don't, is there any mentioning of why he completely just said, yeah, fuck it, we're not even gonna use your imagination?
No. Wasn't up to him. It's exactly what happened to him is exactly what happened to Kojima. Yeah.
That's that whole thing about repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
Trying to expect different results with it. Assholes.
It's just like, no, we don't see any value in Castlevania anymore. We'll keep you on, but if you've got any good ideas, yeah, but we don't want you making any more of your games. And it's just like, yeah, fuck you.
Well, no, but why before that wouldn't he have done the whole...
Oh, yeah, why didn't he do the battle? Maybe he was content with all the information that was given in the two Sora games. And it's like, well, we don't really need to tell that tale because we've given you information. Julius killed Dracula. Why do you want to see that game? And a lot of fans are like, yes, we do. We really want to see that game. But it's like he might have been content with just having the tale in sort of like the glossary. So it's like, well, okay.
It kind of makes me wonder if he worried about having this climactic end and not being able to do it in a way that he felt justified. Or, did it justice.
Yeah, but even though he created this wonderful situation for it, it's like, if it was me, I would have gone for it. I was just be like, yep, we'll do this, the quote-unquote final battle of Dracula, and it would have been fantastic. And it would have been the right time, too. At the end of the DS's life, it would have been the perfect time to end that series, because at that point, the series had been going on for about 20-odd years. Right. So, yeah, it was a perfect time to go out on, so...
And
Because
this
and I
also
think
works for like movies and books and whatnot. So if there's anything that's not gaming related that people feel like you want to comment on that you wish either continued or wish it would have stopped or something like that, let us know on those too.
absolutely. So I could add more, but I think I'm going to just chop it up there. And I think we have recorded our longest recording ever.
Yeah, we've done longer recordings, I think, just on different times, but for this one, I think
Yeah.
this is it's fairly likely. So I should probably wrap it up, shouldn't I?
Yes.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you later. Bye.
Later, guys.